Joining me now is Olga Dudakova. She is a mother and she's also a tour guide who made the agonizing decision to leave Kyiv.
Yesterday, we didn't have war.
Hi everyone, my name is Olga and I'm a tour guide in Kyiv, Ukraine. One day I hope to meet all of you in person to show you my marvelous city. And up to this date, please subscribe to my channel, check my videos to learn more about Ukrainian culture, invincible people and the amazing places that you can visit in Ukraine. Because Ukraine, it's not just the war, the fights and the devastated earth. It's about beauty and the amazing spirit of the people who live here. Today is a special video because all of Ukrainians will remember one day. There is one day that kind of unites us. This is the day of 24th of February when the war has started. I'm sure that all of us heard explosions. There were hundreds of missiles flying to Ukraine at one particular time, early in the morning on the 24th of February. We all heard these terrible sounds of the bombings and we were woken up by the sounds of war. We will never forget that. We always share these kind of first seconds and minutes when we realized that it is here and the time has come. It has begun. I'm sure that not all of the Ukrainians were making pictures at that day, making videos of that particular day, because we were not thinking about filming and about memorizing all that. But I have a video of myself when I was having the virtual talk with a huge number of people on that day. I have a video recording of myself and of my son when it all has begun. And today I would like to share with you that day. And I hope that after our victory, I will show this recording to my grandchildren probably, just to tell them that this was the day when it all has started. So let me tell you my experience of the 24th of February. And thank you for coming and listening. Thank you for sharing that moment with me. On the 24th of February, I just woke up to the terrible explosions of bombings because the one missile landed just close to us, to the school where my children are going, and there was the huge explosion. Actually, I woke up and I fainted because I wasn't prepared for that, but I understood that this is war. I had a tour on that day on St. Andrew's Descent. In the morning I cancelled it because there was no transportation between the banks of the Dnieper River, and there was no connectivity between the banks, and the missiles were flying. The air raid alerts were constant at that day. But I scheduled a virtual talk, and at that night 1,500 people joined me to support me and just to share that moment with me and with all Ukraine, and probably to see what is really happening in Ukraine. I have a recording of that virtual talk, and prepared to see me very emotional and prepared to see me in kind of frustration. People were writing in the comments, "Calm down, that lady, she's too nervous." Yes, I'm emotional during my ordinary life, but there was the time when I was extra emotional, of course. That was the moment when I felt enormous support from the people all over the world, and that virtual talk helped me to survive. Then a few days later, we had to flee Ukraine. BBC contacted me, and I was having the interviews along the way close to the Ukrainian borders. I was having a couple of other interviews in the Business Insider, in the other magazines. There was the hunger in the world for the news from Ukraine and from the testimonies of the eyewitnesses, from the ordinary people who can tell in English about the war. And today I'm saying you once again thank you for that support, and thank you for this year of the constant support. Thank you for buying me coffees and for supporting me through all this period of my life. Let's watch together this special video.
The UN Refugee Agency now says that more than 1.2 million refugees have left Ukraine. And of course, there are so many more in the process trying to do the same thing. Joining me now is Olga Dudakova. She is a mother, and she's also a tour guide who made the agonizing decision to leave Kyiv. She does remain in Ukraine. Olga, can you tell us just about this, what you went through? I mean, you left with your son and you had to leave your husband. What was that like?
So actually, I've got 2 sons and 1 daughter. So I've got 3 kids. And yes, I live in Kiev. I'm a tour guide in Kiev. And after we have lived in the total bombardment and shelling for 2 days, we made this heavy decision to leave my beloved city because I'm a tour guide. This is my kind of job. I show Kiev to the rest of the world. And we made this decision to leave, but not to go abroad. We decided to stay in the central Ukraine, just to wait, just to feel ourselves in safety. And then when we waited there for a couple more days, we found out that there is no actually safe place in Ukraine. And when we began to hear the bombings also on the place where we were staying with our relatives, we decided to go west. So now currently I am on my way to the kind of western borders of Ukraine, and here I feel a little bit safer because during the day we don't hear shelling and bombarding, but during the night there are sirens. We can see that, and the Russian army, they are targeting main cities mainly, so not the small ones.
Olga, as you said, you're a tour guide in Kyiv. You show this beautiful city to the world. What are you worried about as we hear these reports that the expectation is that it is just going to be bombarded by the Russian military?
I'm sorry. I'm absolutely, my heart is bleeding. I am crying like all day and all night, and even I'm just praying for Saint Sophia. This is the treasure, the heart of Ukraine, the soul of Ukraine. If you know, this is the 11th century cathedral. It is situated just in the city center, and they want, like Russians want, that they are going to destroy this unique architectural complex. It's devastating, and we even don't know what to think and what to presume. There are so many buildings that have been already destroyed. They are mainly residential buildings, but also, if you remember, Babi Yar also partly was kind of affected. Babi Yar, this is the place of Holocaust, of the biggest massacre when the Jews were killed. Like 33,000 Jews were killed during World War II on that place. And so it means that they are targeting not just the residential buildings, they're targeting also the like memorial complexes and the things that are very, 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 very like important to the soul of Ukraine, because this is our spirit. Also, it's really devastating to see Chernihiv, to see the city also when there are many ancient churches, and it's absolutely flattened. People flee because they're afraid of their lives. They want to find a safe place, but we are not understanding why is that. Why should we have to leave our families, our places where we live, and why do we have to escape to nowhere? So it's we just don't understand that story.
Yeah, it is beyond understanding. It certainly is, as we were.
So when I heard this news, so kind of invasion, possible invasion, I heard probably Putin will just want to kind of invade and take for himself these parts of Donetsk and Lugansk region, so-called Donetsk, Lugansk People's Republic and Lugansk People's Republic. But we were not expecting him to devastate Ukraine. We were not expecting him to put shelling and massive bombing throughout the country, because many cities they were attacked. And what's happening now? Ukrainian soldiers are fighting. They're fighting really fiercely. Some of them are 18 years old, so they are very young guys, and they sometimes they really create the miracles of that kind of things that they could perform in these situations. Not all Ukrainian army efforts are successful, because I think probably it's just my kind of not imagination, but my thoughts. Again, I'm not the military expert, and everything that I'm telling you, I'm just telling from their perspective of the average Ukrainian citizen. So probably he is going to invade, and he wants to take Kiev and to occupy the whole Ukraine, which means absolutely insane for me in the 21st century. Just a few weeks ago, I was doing Jewish tours for you. I was telling you the stories, how Nazis came here, how they killed 34,000 Jews in just 2 days. And I couldn't even imagine that I can find myself in such kind of situation. Pretty much similar situation when it's all real. When we are guides, I'm telling from all the guides, because I'm a guide, and when I'm learning about the historical facts, especially about the wars, I never imagine how it looks like. And now I know how it looks like, Now I know how it looks like, how it feels like to hear these bombs and to hear the constant devastating news, even from TV. So when I was telling you about these things that happened here in 1941, I couldn't imagine that this could happen in 2022. So now I really know what it is. I don't think that this is the end of this conflict, because some people are saying probably he will stop. Currently, a lot of cities are occupied. Chernobyl power plant station, where the explosion happened in 1864, is occupied as well, which means that they can kind of blackmail. They could say, I don't know, to the president, to the government, like, go away, or we will just blow everything here. We will blow up the Chernobyl power plant, and that's it. So it's something that they have in their hands now, and it's something they can negotiate. I would say negotiate, because blackmail, it's called probably. So we don't know the next steps. We don't know what is going to happen, but I am sure that it's going to continue. Unfortunately, I don't see the end of the conflict here, because there were so many attempts to prevent that. It's absolutely impossible just to invade the country, to put like the shelling, the bombing, and to occupy it, and that's it. That was independent Ukraine. It was independent for 30 years. And what's now? What's now? If Putin can just invade and I don't know, do what he wants here. I don't know what is going to happen to my country. I know that Ukrainian soldiers are fighting. They are trying to focus on those military kind of base and military and important like strategic bases, like the breachers, like the different warehouses where we storage everything that we can use, like the bullets or anything else. So they know the plans and they are targeting that. Ukraine is kind of, it's supported, but supported very slowly. What we can see the whole day of war, the circle around Kyiv is just coming closer and closer. Chernihiv, I was planning to make a tour to Chernihiv in a few weeks. Chernihiv is just 1.5 hours from here, and they are there. So they are already fighting for Chernihiv. It means that they are very close to Kiev. They are very, very close. I think that it's probably their target to change the government here. I don't know. I don't have a plan to tell you. I'm just telling everything that is just coming out from my head. And so about the support, yes. So we just listened to the President Biden, and he told that about sanctions, but we don't see like crippling sanctions. We don't see severe sanctions, and they are really kind of slowing. They are negotiating, but not implementing that quickly. So they need to negotiate, and still we lost Ukraine for this day when there is the huge attack. We just lost a lot of cities while they are, I don't know, negotiating about the plan of the future sanctions. And I think Russian people can change something. Probably it's their chance to change something. If you would ask me 10 years ago, like what is absolutely imaginable for you? I would say that the war between Russians and Ukrainians is absolutely the things that I couldn't imagine. And it's happening. I don't know why it's happening. Usually my neighborhood is full of lights. It's midnight here, almost midnight. But there are no lights at all. Just beginning from the 10 p.m., the lights in the houses are off. Just some sporadic lights are there. Which means that a lot of people escaped the city. We were warned that probably this coming night will be difficult because they are coming to Kiev and probably there will be bombing. So we are advised to sleep in our clothing, and we are advised just without jackets in clothing, like be ready to put on a jacket, shoes or boots, and escape to the bomb shelter. Many people are hiding in the metro stations on the right bank of the river, because the metro stations in the left bank, they are not deep. They are very shallow. On the right bank, we have the deepest metro station in the world. It's 105 meters. And now at 10, we have curfew. At 10 p.m., they close metro stations. And if people who are inside, they can stay the whole night and use the metro station as a bomb shelter up to and every single second brings something new. So there is bloodshed, fights in the regions of the Ukraine which are attacked. We don't know what the next steps would be, but we know that the response of Ukraine is really tough and hard. We pray for our soldiers, for people who are really fighting for us now. I would thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Everything that I heard and saw from you was really enormous. So this is my youngest. I decided to, I found a candle here. So this is the candle I was using for my Jewish tour. I was I was streaming part 2 from home. And if you were present on my part 2 Babi Yar tour, you remember this candle. So I was carrying the candle through the ravine where the Jews were killed, and I was carrying this candle through the whole itinerary where I was covering throughout that tour. And I light this candle for Ukraine today. I am extremely, extremely grateful for all your emotional support that you are giving to me. I'm sorry for my emotions if there were too much of them, but believe me, I didn't show you too much. Yes. So I do believe in the power of this emotional support that you provide Ukraine with. A lot of countries today, Czech Republic, immense support today, Germany, all other countries, they were coming out to the streets, carrying New York City with all that huge flag just spread over the square. They are showing support. I don't understand. The whole globe is holding kind of Ukraine in its hands, and just one man wants to do that. I can't understand that. Why the whole globe, the huge earth, doesn't want the war, and one person wants it, and that is happening. I'm sorry, I don't understand that. Ukraine really can feel this support from the whole community. And what we want, we are fighting. We are using our weapons, and we are using the lives of our soldiers to protect everyone. But we need the actions. We need them quicker, we need those actions. And I will just quote on top of my head the quote of Hitler. The death of one soldier is a tragedy. The death of millions is just a statistics. I think it's quite kind of timely here, because every single guy who is dying here on this fight is a tragedy. But when we will count all those kind of devastating numbers, probably this will be just a statistic for him. I don't know. When I was showing you St. Michael's Cathedral, there is a huge wall. People started huge wall of pictures of the young guys who died, started from 2014, and the whole block on St. Michael's Monastery, the whole wall is in these pictures of the young guys. They are the pictures are growing in numbers, and when I'm coming with tourists there, I sometimes see people, just mothers are crying, and sisters, or I don't know, just relatives are coming to those photos of those guys, of their images, and they are just sitting and putting the fresh flowers and candles every day in the city center of Kiev. And that happened in 2014. What is now happening is absolutely impossible to understand. I don't know how we can speed that up, but we really need the really need the actions, because I feel that probably just solely Ukraine can't stop him. I believe in my Ukrainian army, but I also see that something has to be done, because we are all together on this globe. What we are going to do if the things really get worse? What I mean worse? I mean that we don't know how Russian army behaves. I mean, on the territory. And if in case we need to escape Kiev, probably we would go to also to that Polish and Hungarian border, because these borders are closer to the European Union, and probably they will not be occupied. It's changing. What is happening that also they occupied the water kind of, I would say, when you build a dam and then you have this water reservoir, huge water reservoirs. In case they bomb the water reservoirs, there will be flood in the region, in the whole region of Ukraine. So once they are captivating, once the Russian army is captivating the real important objects, like power plants and these reservoirs with water, they have this ability to kind of blackmail and to ask, probably to demand something from the government. We always, Ukrainians are a very peaceful nation. We usually welcome guests. We always welcome the people who are coming to us with bread and salt, with borscht, with dumplings. And we are not welcoming this kind of invasion. We are not welcoming that at all. But when it's happening just next to your door, you don't care about any words, you don't care. You name the things as they are. And when it's happening in real time, again, I will repeat what I told you before. When it's happening, my husband just told me that there is the news that the whole mobilization. Before that, yesterday, it was the mobilization of the reserve army, of the reserve officers. Now it's just 1 second when he opened the door. And he told that the whole mobilization of the country, which means that all people will go to protect Ukraine. And everything happened just in 24 hours. 24 hours. Yesterday, we didn't have war. It was yesterday. Yesterday, we didn't have it. How could this changed so quickly? And just now we have this general mobilization. I hope that you will all light the candles in your hearts. Light those candles for Ukraine, because only when the whole planet will light those candles, will speak the word, only then we will win. Not Ukraine will win. Ukraine is standing. Ukraine is receiving this attack, but the whole world would win. And Ukraine is just screaming for that, pleading for that reaction from all countries. we can stop that if we work together. So the quote from the Book of Wisdom: there is no flag large enough to cover the shame of killing innocent people. This is my kind of wisdom for today. I will read it again for you, just not for you, for the whole world, because I think that Haggai covers the whole world, and there are so many people watching me, and you will, when hearing me, you will go and you will tell someone. There is no flag large enough to cover the shame of killing innocent people. Yes, we need action. So there are some kind of phasers, and now I'm feeling that I kind of accepted it, but from the other point of view, I didn't accept that. I still can't understand how this could happen, how Russians could invade Ukrainians. And thank you so much for your enormous support. When I woke up, I really didn't know what to do. It's not over yet, but still I understand that I'm not sleeping. And I know that I have all of you. And thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your financial support that you gave to me. So now it's quiet, and the quiet is very weird. It's absolutely quiet. I'm so glad that I have you all around the globe. Sorry for my emotions, but really, believe me, it's impossible to just stay here and don't have emotions. It's absolutely impossible. I hope that we will survive, and we will see peaceful Kiev streets with me. Let me put it this way. I will show you Kiev. I will show you Ukrainian Kiev. And I'm saying this to you now. I want to show you Ukrainian Kiev. Thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye, my dear.
After this live stream, my friend Diana from the UK drew this picture. It's not about beauty, it's about my emotions. Her husband Simon became my 1000th subscriber on YouTube, and exactly a year since the war started, I met them both in Prague, and she gave me this memorable picture. And that was one of the most touching and wonderful moments in my life. I'm so grateful to everyone who cares about me. Thank you, my dear travelers, for being a part of my life story.